In the post-World War II era, Ferrari quickly became a symbol of speed and success. The prancing horse symbol is associated with a luxury lifestyle, a roaring engine, and a legacy carved into the motorsport history, written by names like Niki Lauda, Michael Schumacher, Kimi Räikkönen, and now Charles Leclerc. They are arguably the greatest racing team that has ever existed, with 238 Formula One Grand Prix victories, 15 Drivers' Championship, 16 Constructors' Championships, and of course 11 wins in the history of the Le Mans 24 Hours, including back-to-back victories in the last 2 years.
But it's going to be Ferrari at the finish. Ferrari took half a century to return to Le Mans' top class.
But their road to dominance wasn't just paved with glorious victories. It was a strategy made in secrecy, ambition, and sometimes controversial tactics. And for those unfamiliar, this is Torque House. Today we dive into one of Ferrari's biggest scandal that changed the racing culture and rules forever. It was May 12th, 2002. Sunny Spielberg weather, an exciting day so far at the A1 ring. Final lap, Rubens Barrichello leads, the checkered flag is within sight. Michael Schumacher was right behind him. This means Ferrari would definitely secure the win at the Austrian Grand Prix, since both their drivers had been leading for a few laps. But then a voice snaps through Rubens' radio.
Last lap, let Michael pass for the championship. Let Michael pass for the championship to bench place.
The man behind the order was Jean Todt, who was Ferrari's team principal at the time. He and the team had prepared for every scenario that would help Michael Schumacher secure his 5th world championship. But there was one thing they hadn't considered. Their second driver, Rubens Barrichello, had an incredible racing day. Rubens Barrichello led almost the entire race, dominated from the start, and set the fastest lap time of the race. By the last few hundred meters, Jean Todt and the team made the scandalous decision. They told Rubens to slow down and let Michael pass for the championship. And he did. Rubens hit the brake, allowing Michael Schumacher to overtake him and take the victory. Needless to say, the crowd booed as they understood what happened.
Instead, they're alive to the sound of boos and whistles.
Schumacher finally acknowledging what happened at the post-race interview. It's a pity for Rubens. He drove a fantastic race and was leading the whole time. But this is a team sport, and we have to do what's best for the team. I can understand that people don't like what happened, but it was the team's decision, and we have to live with it. Although he then had a respectful gesture, giving his top spot on the podium for Rubens, people were still booing when the champagnes popped.
Michael Schumacher, a couple of firsts for him, his first win in Austria, and the first time we've ever seen him booed up there as well.
So why did Ferrari do it? Despite one of their drivers would win the race eventually, are they favoring one driver to another? The answer is yes. Although team orders did not technically breach any FIA regulations at the time, they were morally unacceptable to the motorsport world since it takes away the victory from the driver who's earned it. Even though it was still early in the season, Ferrari didn't want to leave anything to chance. They were afraid that any lost points could affect their season later. So why did Rubens not just refuse the request? After all, he had every right to do so. Except, he did not. You see, every driver at Ferrari were under a strict contract that gave Ferrari control over race strategy, and Rubens is no exception. The exact clauses were never disclosed, but from what we believe, Ferrari contracts favored Schumacher and limiting Rubens' autonomy. They believe that in a racing team, there needs to be a number 1 and a number 2. So Michael Schumacher was number 1, and the rest of the team would do anything for him to win, even if it costs the win of the other driver. In that radio call, it was an order, not a request. So if Rubens refused, his Ferrari career would have ended right on that moment. Moreover, he later revealed he was threatened with consequences. In his own words, he said, "The intensity of the conversation increased with every lap, and then I was told to think about my contract." What followed wasn't just criticism, it was outrage. The motorsport world felt cheated, fans disappointed, the media exploded, things even got political. Even the president of Brazil made a statement defending Barrichello. Today, all Brazil is unanimous. Rubens Barrichello was the winner of Austrian Grand Prix. The cup is his. The FIA launched an investigation, but technically Ferrari hadn't broken any rule. No matter how ugly it might be, there was no rules against team order. At least, at the time. At the start of the 2003 season, a new rule was immediately added. The FIA banned team order that interfered with race results. The clause was simple. Team orders which interfere with the result of the race are prohibited. Still, the FIA wasn't blind to the damage. Ferrari was fined $1 million. It wasn't for the race. It was because of Schumacher handling his podium spot and trophy to Barrichello, which caused confusion. It was the maximum fine that FIA could impose at the time, but for Ferrari, it was no more than a symbolic gesture. You must be thinking, that rule must still last until today, right? I have bad news for you.
Okay, so Fernando is faster than you. Can you confirm you understood that message?
In 2011, the FIA quietly lifted the ban. The reason is because enforcing it proved almost impossible. Teams simply got smarter with their codes to avoid mentioning words like slow down or let someone pass on the radio. In modern racing, many teams have used it, from Mercedes to Red Bull. Call it strategy, call it manipulation, but in modern Formula One, team orders are just part of the game. The question isn't if team orders exist, it's whether we're okay with pretending they don't. So, do you think there should be a rule against it? Or is it the right of every team to switch places? This was Torca House, where speed meets story. See you in the next lap.